Washington swamp. And by the way, did we catch them? We caught them. We caught them. We caught them. Watch what happens. Watch what happens. They spied on our campaign. What they did should never, ever be allowed to happen in this country again. Never. Watch what happens. This is the most important election in the history of our country. Biden has made a corrupt bargain in exchange for his party's nomination. He has handed control to the socialists and Marxists and left-wing extremists like his vice presidential candidate. That's another great one, isn't it? I just watched her on television coming in, because the great thing about Air Force One, we have more televisions. They're in closets. They're all over the place. They're on the floors, on the ceilings. And I watched her, and I compared her to Amy, great future Supreme Court Justice. And I will tell you, Amy's made a great impression. And you know Biden, he can't stand up to the lunatics running his party. He can't even find his way off the stage without him. Look what's happened. Yesterday, he didn't know the name. He said, you know the guy, I think he's a Mormon, right? He said he's a Mormon. He was talking about Mitt Romney. He forgot Mitt Romney's name. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? Then he didn't know where he was. He said, where the hell am I? Where am I? No, he's shot, folks. He's shot. I'm running against the single worst candidate in the history of presidential politics. And you know what that does? That puts more pressure on me. Can you imagine if you lose to a guy like this? It's unbelievable. It's disgusting. It's disgraceful. If he wins, the radical left will be running the country. He won't be running the country. The radical left will take over. And how about Pennsylvania? So he says there will be no fracking. No fracking. This went on for a year and a half. No fracking. No fracking, no fracking. Then Elizabeth Warren refused to get out. So they stole another one for Bernie. Bernie's the greatest loser of them all. This guy, every 4 years, they steal it. So she refused to get out. Pocahontas, she refused to get out, right? They wanted me to apologize for saying the word Pocahontas. So, no, I apologize to Pocahontas, to the real one. No, you wouldn't get out, and she took enough votes away, and Biden won Super Tuesday. That shouldn't have happened. But if I don't sound like a typical Washington politician, fortunately, that's because I'm not a politician. I'm not a politician. But think of it. You know, you talk about politicians. No fracking for a year and a half, right? And then he goes to Pennsylvania and says, no, there'll be fracking. Like nothing happened. Can you imagine if I did that? No fracking, no fracking, no fracking. I'm the opposite, by the way. No fracking, no fracking. Then you win and you go, got to go a little to the other direction, a little bit to the right, although he actually went further left, which is sort of an amazing thing. But all of a sudden, he comes out in favor of fracking. And let me tell you, it's always the first thing that turns out to be true, okay? They will lose, you will lose in Pennsylvania 1 million jobs. There will be no petroleum products. There will be no fracking whatsoever. And did you see his party now is really angry at him because he's saying maybe there'll be fracking. It's a very conditional, it's a very weak. But with me, you're going to frack. You're going to frack. And you're going to keep your energy low, and we're independent. We are now energy independent, first time ever. So if I don't always play by the rules of the Washington establishment, it's because I was elected to fight for you. And I fought harder for you than any president has ever fought for their people. Right now, I'm fighting to eradicate the virus, rebuild the economy, and save our country from the radical left. And that's a big thing, saving it, because these people, this will end up being a large-scale version of Venezuela if they get in. They don't have water, they don't have medicine, they don't have food, they don't have anything. Despite everything they've thrown at us, we've done more in the first 3.5 years than any administration in history, and the best is yet to come. It's true. A recent Gallup poll just came out. Thank you. A Gallup poll just came out that found that 56% of Americans say they're better off today than they were under Sleepy Joe and Obama. It's the highest of any president at this point in his term. Let's think of that, 56%. This is as we round the corner on the pandemic, 56%. They were much, much lower. Just remember this. If they were any good, I wouldn't have run for president. But they were no good. They did a horrible job. They did a horrible job. Yesterday, Biden told those 56% of Americans that they probably shouldn't vote for him. And for once, I agree with Joe. Did you hear he said, you shouldn't vote for me, you know? He has no idea what he's saying. How the hell do you lose to a guy like this? Is this possible? Oh, I'll never come to Pennsylvania again. I love this place. You know, they say he was born in Scranton, but he left. He left. He abandoned you. He didn't. Give me a break. Thank you. I love you too. Thank you. Thank you.